Life, it comes at us like a train with all its ups and downs, its pains and its joys. How do we deal with it? How do we process it? How how do what we learn from life and especially what we teach life back in return makes all of the difference. Welcome to Life Talks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Life Talks. I'm really excited because, as you know, I had taken a little sabbatical, trying to do some self care, and trying to figure out how I will re-emerge from COVID. We have all these racial tensions happening within the U.S., and it was like, ah. But with the talks, even about buying businesses from Black businesses, a thought came to mind because I have some pretty fantastic people who are entrepreneurs and business owners. And then I thought about I have some really superpower girlfriends and some incredible women who are doing the darn thing from all different ages. And I said, you know what, I want to talk to them and I want to introduce the world to them if you don't know already. And one of them is who I have today, an incredibly beautiful woman, but a friend of mine and a sister who I totally adore. And not that she's the mother to, I claim both of them, two of my nephews slash cousins, but really a sweetheart in her own right. And from what I see, a true friend and sister. And so I want to introduce you to Adhara King, the owner of AKingBee, a line. She started off with a line of masks, and we'll find out from her how she got the inspiration. But let me just read a little bit more about this phenomenal woman. So she is from the community of Sanssoucis in Castries. We're both St. Lucian women from St. Lucia, the best island in the planet, that carries some of the most amazing and beautiful women I know. She attended Camille Henry Memorial and St. Joseph's Convent schools in St. Lucia and Lincoln University in the United States. She's naturally creative with family traditions rooted in arts and carnival. Having passion for helping people, she became interested in volunteerism and pageantry and has been involved in the production of the Miss SLHTA show and the National Carnival Queen pageant. Adhara first served as a chaperone for the NCQP, which is a National Queen pageant, in 2012, and in 2013 had the honor of helping Miss Amy Stephen capture the crown. Mrs. King has two children, two sons. She's married and currently is an educator and catechist. Did I say that right?
Catechist, yeah.
In Virginia. I am so honored and blessed to have this queen here with us today and to talk woman, talk island, talk your business, and also I hope we can see some of the fun things that you have created.
Yes, thank you so much for your lovely introduction. Thank you.
So
now that I'm married, pardon?
I had to put in there you're my sister too. So
oh yes, for sure, definitely. So now that I'm married, my name is actually King Emmanuel, but my last name is now so long, and I'm so used to being Adhara King that I just roll with my name,
right.
You know? And
yeah.
sometimes my husband's like, that's not your name anymore. But I'm like, that's who I am. This is my brand, okay?
That's your brand. and that is okay.
So, yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, so thank you so much for thinking of me. When I got your call, I was like, you know? Since I started this new venture, this is my first official interview speaking about it. So I am very honored. Right. And thank you for this opportunity. And I'm
You're
excited. I'm
welcome.
excited.
You're in awe, and I'm in awe here. Both of us are two gagas. So,
I'm so
okay.
excited because finally I birthed something that
Yes.
I have been holding on to and kind of I don't know, intimidated or felt defeated by or like wasn't sure of and have been overthinking like this is not going to be good enough. How do I go about doing it? And then finally one day I was like, you know what, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just do it. Because well, creativity is something that's in my blood. I've been doing it for a long time. Growing up as a child, my grandmother was a seamstress, and my father and my uncle and everybody on my father's side were very heavily involved in carnival. My uncle Andrew King was famous for creating beautiful carnival costumes and just yeah, like Queen of the Bands, those big costumes.
With the
So
feather.
every year,
The
right, those
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah.
Every year I was in awe because every year there used to be a mass camp in my grandmother's yard, basically, where, and this is like months before carnival because you know it takes a while to get those
Mm-hmm.
things, and then plus they had to order their materials and blah blah blah. It was like a whole big production, lots of feathers, lots of sequins, and what they call that thing, leatherettes, which is like faux leather. I remember that was my first experience with that,
Oh,
and lots of different materials just to create these big sculptures that like when you see the raw materials and you see the sculpture, it's like the amount of creativity that goes into that is just wow.
right.
So that's something that I grew up around, and I was just always a naturally creative person. And I remember when I was in college, I used to make my own earrings. A friend of mine, Siobhan and myself used to go to like Michael's and Joann's and buy stuff and just make our earrings while our friends were shopping in the mall and stuff. Because at the time I went to school in Pennsylvania, and Delaware was tax free. So we would go across there to go to the mall, and I'd be like, Siobhan, let's go to Michael's. And she'd be down, you know, because she
Right.
enjoyed doing it too. And then when I went home, um, I made some earrings. I thought I was starting my quote unquote collection. And I took some photos and sent them to the editor of this fashion magazine that was based in St. Lucia. Well, not fashion so much, it was like a lifestyle women's,
Mhm.
but they also did fashion, like they had different columns and whatever. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is a good opportunity that, you know, she can feature me in maybe like a photo shoot or something. And I was never acknowledged. Like I didn't even get a response saying, hey, okay, we got your email, but this might not be a good fit for us right now, or, you know, carry yourself somewhere else.
Something.
Not even that.
Say
You
something.
know? So that was like, man, okay, so maybe this is not a gig for me,
Hmm.
right? So then I was just wearing my earrings. Like, I remember I have a picture somewhere on Facebook where I have these star earrings that have like madras and denim on either side. And I literally hand stitched those, and I wore them for Je ne sais all one day. So these are things that I've been doing. And then I like sewing because of my grandmother's influence. So I've been dabbling in sewing for a while now. I used to make curtains and stuff when I was back home when I got my first place. I made all my curtains. And like my coworker one time asked me to make curtains for his apartment because he was a bachelor, and he like, oh, you can sew. So, you know, I would do these little things just off and on. And then a few years ago, for Mother's Day, I gifted myself a sewing machine. So I started sewing different little projects, and I put it away for a while and started collecting dust. And I'm like, oh, it's useful like when you need to adjust things and,
Right.
you know, any little project. And then with the corona coming this year, and oh, rewind. So I did like a network marketing business with jewelry, which I'm still doing because for me it's a different price point and a whole different ball game. So like I still have that going, but I
Can I
was
just say
doing
with
it and
that?
it was
Can I just say with that? I think that's when I first saw that creative style of yours because of how you were marketing it. You still have those
thank
videos and
you.
stuff on Facebook where
Yes,
you had your nightly showcase of
right. And
the
I actually
jewelry.
made that myself. Like I made the display case myself.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Home Depot, I bought the wood and the whatever, and I borrowed a drill, and I had the people at Home Depot cut it to size and I assemble it myself.
Yeah.
So all those other things I do. But yeah, so in doing that, I mean, I always love accessories. I always love jewelry and stuff because I'm like, my wardrobe is very simple and a classic. I like black. I like denim,
Yeah.
as you can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And like, I would wear like a different pair of earrings. So earrings that people might think were weird at the time because I'd wear like maybe some big earrings or some long earrings or something. And I always liked that. So getting into that jewelry business for me was fun. But what was missing was that I enjoy creating my own stuff,
Mm.
right? So that kind of like died off because I used to go live all the time and stuff, but then I had death in the family. I had to go home and then life happened. So it kind of, I mean,
Yeah.
I kept the website, but I wasn't as active on like my marketing and my showcasing my products and stuff.
Right.
And then the
And
quarantine
COVID-19
came. So
happened.
now everybody is slowed down. Like all you have is time.
Right.
And I remember at first it was so scary because they were talking about how it's in the air and it survives in the air for how long and you can't go outside. And I have a toddler, he's 2 years old.
Mhm.
So I still had to go buy groceries and go out and do stuff. And for me, I prefer to do it myself because if I send my husband to the grocery store, I mean, women, ladies, you know how that goes. So I'm not asking him to go to the grocery store because he'll go with a list of 10 things and then come back with 5 brand name items and tell me,
These are
he
better
couldn't
than,
find,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I have to go out and buy groceries. So I was like, oh, I have some fabric because another thing about me is like in my creative pursuits, whenever I'm shopping, I love Hobby Lobby. I love Joann's, I love Michael's. Whenever I'm shopping or I go to these places and I see things on clearance, I'm like, oh, this is going to be useful. So I
Right.
have my little stash. I have this big bin with like fabric that I've accumulated and different little crafty items. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to make myself a mask. And then I saw a friend of mine selling masks. So at the same time, I'd already pulled out the machine, dust it off and whatever. So I'm like, oh, she's selling masks. Let me buy some off of her. So I bought the mask. And then while I was waiting for them to come, I'm like, since I was going to make them anyway, let me just go ahead. So I researched, like I had like maybe at least 4 different patterns that I found, and I was looking to see what would be the best fit. I had also bought like the N95 ones to see how they. So I did like a lot of R&D to
Yeah.
figure out what would be the best and the most comfortable fit for myself and my family. And so I made for my husband, I made for Kyan, my son, my older son. Jacob is the younger one. Jacob refused to wear a mask. Plus, he's 2 anyway, and they don't
Right.
recommend
We don't like that.
having them wear it.
Yeah.
So I made a few, and I made for some other family members, my in-laws, and like you. I
I
remember I
got
sent one for
one.
you.
Got one.
I sent for my cousin in
Yeah.
Atlanta. So I was just sending stuff for family members just so that people could be safe. I sent for my cousin in New York because she was working like normal every day. And, I just wanted people to be safe. And if it's something that I can do, I have the fabric. I mean, so I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then I did for a family friend in New York. And she was like, when she got it, she was so impressed. And, I wasn't charging for them. So she was like, oh, she was like, no, I wanna help or
Support. Yeah.
something. So I'm like, well, if you want to, then that's fine. So and then my husband was like, well, why don't you think about selling them? So because I mean, extra income is always good, especially
Right.
with what's happening.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I will. Let's see how it goes. But then I was really getting encouragement from everybody who I had sent masks for, and they were like, you should do it, you should do it. So one day, finally, I was sitting and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I have no idea because I had been thinking about Etsy before, and I had no idea how it worked. And I'm like, is this for me? How am I? And then all the research, I'm like, sometimes you just overwhelm yourself with research and then you don't take action because you're
Right.
just absorbing so much information.
Right.
So finally, I just decided to take the plunge and I opened the Etsy store. And I remember that when I first listed it, I just put what price I think would have been good, and I just left. I forget how I did the listing, whatever, but it was all messed up. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another friend who sells on Etsy, And she messaged me and she was like, giving me pointers about how to adjust and fix the listing and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look at this, look at God. Because that same girl does head wraps and stuff. And before that, she was doing bags. And I had bought some batik fabric in my shopping. And I'm like, oh, I made these wraps and I had them. This was like back in 2018 or 2017 or somewhere, right? That I don't have it, but it's on my website. That's the original Mariage batik wrap, which is the green one. I've had that for at least 2 years now. But when
Wait,
I
the one
was
you just featured? The one
yes,
you just posted?
yes,
Girl.
I bought that fabric in 2018 and I made my first wrap. The one that I have, the one that I own, because I own one in that fabric, I have it from since then.
Oh, okay. So you
And
were
when I
keeping all the
wanted
goodies
to,
for yourself.
yeah, but when I wanted to come out and say, okay, let me sell this thing, then she started selling head wraps and I'm like, man, I don't want to feel like I'm stepping on her toes, like she just launched this product and
Right.
I have this idea, but nobody knows how long I've been cooking this up because I think too much and I don't do what I want to do,
Right.
right? So, but then now, 2 years later, ironically, she's the first person who messaged me and was like helping me with my Etsy shop. So I
Nice.
was telling her this, and she's like, "Girl, don't worry about it. What are you talking about? Stepping on my toes? That's that thing." Blah blah. She owns one of those green batik wraps now
Yeah.
too.
Okay, and
So
I will
it's
have
like,
mine soon. I will order mine soon. What? Yeah, so this is really, really exciting. And I'm really glad that you are being vulnerable and being honest about the journey because I think that there's power in that because I think the majority of us sit on ideas, sit on dreams. We think that it will be ridiculed. We don't think that it's strong enough to make a difference, And in our head, it's so grand and it makes us feel so excited. And when we think about it, we're like, yes. But then when we think about everything else, or if we see that somebody else may be doing something similar, we might feel that we'll get lost in it. So it's really important for individuals like you and I to share the anxiety and the journey because what we see now is a pretty amazing store with a nice collection of masks and other things and
thank
they would
you.
think that oh my gosh she got it all together but understanding that it took you a couple of years of you having to tell yourself, uh, just get it done. So I really
Yeah,
appreciate that. And also because I'm hoping that we have girls of all ages watching this who may have dreams and who may be saying, nah, they could see examples of themselves in us, like a
yeah,
say, I can do, she can do it, I can do it. Or maybe
yeah.
they'll see themselves in a stage and say, okay, she went through that, but she got over it. So, not to give up. I'm not just talking the talk here. I have to say, I have my mask. She said,
That was like one of the
first,
prototypes.
the original prototypes. So, I was fooling around on social media and sent out a SOS. I need masks. Somebody make masks for me. And you sent it over, but it's so cute. And I'm telling you, I've had other masks. I have another sister friend of mine who makes masks also, and I use hers and yours because some of the other masks I've tried, I can't breathe. Like literally, can't breathe. But uh, you explained it. You use different sizing and the N95
Right.
check. So
So I have.
this is great. You want to describe this one to us?
So the one you have is the adjustable one, right? Yours came with cord or ribbon. So I have.
I have elastic.
Oh no, you have elastic. Okay.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
it.
So that was my first when I was trying out the comfort between the elastic and the cord. So
Okay.
I found that some people prefer the elastic. Like me, when I'm running errands, I don't mind the elastic because just quickly in or out of the car.
Right.
Right. So I have these that just have the elastic and
Okay.
but the shape, what makes it easier to breathe, I find, is this shape. See how it has like that curve? So
Mm-hmm.
when you put it against your nose, there's like space in there.
Right.
Whereas there's some other ones that are more flat,
Flat.
so they like press
Exactly.
against your face. So that I find was something that people did comment on, that makes it easier for them. Another thing was with the adjustable ones. This one is a teeny baby one. This is Jacob's that he never wore.
Oh.
So in here I have a filter pocket,
Oh, is that
and
what this is
I
for?
yeah.
I
But I think what happened was I made a mistake. I'm sorry, honey, and I didn't send you one of these. So I made these after, because I was still in research and
yeah,
development.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah. It was in the
I
beginning
didn't think
stages.
I could do that
It's
yet.
okay. I was just
So
gonna show it as it being so stylish and not reversible, but yeah, reversible. And I was gonna show.
yeah,
Yeah, I have my lipstick on here. So, but I was gonna show like in the pockets. Check me. I was about to show the pockets as just pockets. No, the filter has to go in there.
like if
But
you want to put lip gloss.
I say a deck button.
Oh wow, I got you.
But no, this is and you have obviously different prints,
Right.
right?
So I had one that was popular is the African print looking one. I don't have one, but this is
Oh, that's
just the
pretty.
pattern. So that's one that I cut open. And so yeah, these are the filters that go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the ribbon. I was showing you with this one. This one has a suede cord, but I also did ones with ribbon that were really pretty. So you could tie the ribbon in the back like a bow, and it was like a fashion statement. I
Okay.
actually, after I made those ribbon ones, I was looking online and I saw like some designer had ones that had like a sash. She had like a big sash with a bow, and they were like $100. And I'm like, woo, I know, right? Like, why couldn't I have some fancy name designer?
Right. So you just start getting really creative with it and just trying
Right.
different
So I
styles
was just
and
trying
yeah.
what would be the most comfortable, and then I figured out, oh, ribbon, because everyone was like, oh, the elastic hurts their ears. So I wanted to give another option. And
Mhm.
also with the ones that have the adjustable ones, the way I make it, you can change it. So you can put whatever it has like a space here.
Oh, so it has a
So the
wide
seam
enough.
is not closed. So if you want to put whatever ribbon or cord or whatever, you can just change it out. So you can change the color, you can change the type or whatever in these. So these ones I call it 2.0 ones. So I have to send you one of these with the ribbon.
The next prototype.
Okay. So these ones have those, and then there's lots of prints. If you check out my website, it's
Yeah.
AKingBee.etsy.com. I'm sure you'll
Okay, say that again because it's gonna scroll at the bottom, but just go ahead and
it's
say it again.
AKingBee, AKingBee.etsy.com. ETSY is Etsy. So
Um,
this is the batik I was just talking about,
oh
guys.
yeah,
This one is actually reversible. So these are the 3.0s. These ones are fully
that's so
reversible. They don't have a
pretty.
pocket. This is like tropical on one side.
Yes, I love it.
And then there's the batik on the other side. Yes, baby.
Hey, it's motherhood. It's fine.
So this is the batik on this side. And it's fully reversible. It's top stitched. I don't know if you could see.
Yeah.
So that helps with the durability as well as the look. So you can just flip your mask over and then get
And
a whole new one.
the other thing I like about this one because where your nose goes, you reinforced the top.
So these ones have a wire nose bridge.
Yeah, so then for those of us that wear glasses, it helps because some masks you put it on and then when you breathe up, it fogs up
Yes.
the glasses. So I was happy because this fits really comfortably over here, and the glasses, fit snug on top here. So yeah, you've gotten really bougie too because now I saw a couple of them with the flag, with our St. Lucian flag on
Yes.
there. and some and
I
other
do have.
other styles. I'm really happy. And congratulations. And if you're watching,
Thank you.
and I know now everybody and their mama got flat masks. Everybody's getting
Mask.
the mask, but I do believe in supporting our own, and uh, and this is legit. This is not cheap, flimsy material.
Thank
When she gave
you.
her story, she talked about the legacy that her family has given to her, and I'm sure her grandmother taught her about quality. And so I wanted to show that I'm not just talking about it. That um, I have one, and it
You're
was
living it, honey.
yes, and I shall be getting the tropical ones because COVID is not over. It's actually getting worse in some states.
Yeah.
And many places that you go into as they phase back into opening, whether it's phase 1, 2, or 3 or 4, whatever phase they're in, you'll go to places and they're asked, some states are mandating when
Hmm.
they mandate, they're like, you have to have a mask to go in. So with all the shortages that they had of masks, and now coming back into society, we may be wearing masks for a little bit longer. Why not be cute with it and stylish with it
Yeah.
and have quality? Oh, do I say, not do I? This is also washable. So I threw this in the washing machine,
Yes.
and
Oh, you did?
I did, and it worked. I wasn't supposed to. I did.
No, I mean,
I
I
threw it in
recommend
here.
that people hand wash them because,
Okay.
I don't want for someone to throw it, because someone might just throw it in the machine and then it gets tangled in something and then
Oh,
you'll be like, oh, the mask was no good.
I did.
So I recommend that they hand wash it, but
And
I'm so happy to hear that you
okay,
machine washed it and it survived.
so don't listen to me. I'm the
No,
radical one.
you're fine. I'm happy
Just
that you
watch
did
it.
that.
So it worked because obviously makeup. I have, if I wear makeup and foundation, it got really dirty, and
Mhm.
I threw it in the machine and it came out just fine. Um, what I did was I made sure that I kind of tucked it in,
Mhm.
and I didn't put it with things that would tangle it, like bras, that kind of.
Right.
But no, it worked. See, it's still intact.
Yay, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. So
Good.
what's
Because then
next
now
on
that
the
makes
horizon?
it less high maintenance. Now that people know that they can machine wash.
Yeah, so get a bunch of them and just switch up. So what's next? So you have the wraps now. I wish you had one to show us, but
So yes, I do. I have one, but it's not in the same print. This is another print that I have.
pretty.
This one has like metallic. I really like this.
That's pretty.
So the wraps have this what I call a tail, which
Hmm.
I think is really cool. And it's also double sided. A lot of other wraps that I've seen, they like do a hem. And because like I think they use like the wax prints and the whatever, some of them, they're so vibrant that you can, both sides have a pattern or print. But this I backed my cloth. So I use two pieces of the fabric and I also top stitched it. So this one, you can put it around your head. It's pretty long. It's 72 inches. So
Okay.
you can go around a couple of times. Oh, go around a couple of times, do something fancy,
Yeah.
And also, I have a picture on the website where I wear it as a top. So
Oh,
you can put it
I'll
around
show
your
it. I'll show
torso,
it.
right?
Okay.
It's wide enough to cover a decent area of your
Uh-huh.
chest. And you can wear it that way. So this one is versatile. You can also wear it as a scarf because it's a pretty decent amount of fabric.
Right.
So
Okay.
I have this one that is the mariage. That's 10 by 72. So that's like 2 yards of fabric.
Now tell
And
me where
then
that
I
name
have,
came from.
oh, that's my grandma. See,
Maria.
I
So
try, I incorporate everyone in my stuff.
and that's nice. I think that's what makes it so organic and just homey. So it's mariage tet mawe batikara.
Yes, because my grandma was from Guadeloupe. And what I remember about her, she was this, like, my stature. She was a nice little short lady. But she was a powerhouse, let me tell you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember her always having like these two buns, like, you know how when we wear our national costume and we have the Tet Mawe that we call like the peaks. That is something that I want to make. Maybe
Okay.
I shouldn't be telling you all that, but that's something that you should look out for me because
Okay,
I'm
good,
practicing. I need to make Tet Mawe and
good.
have you
So for those
guys,
who
look
don't
at
understand the French or the patois, what does tête mawe mean?
a Tet Mawe is a head wrap. Tet is literally head and Mawe is to tie, or like the French would say mare,
Okay.
right?
Okay, good.
So it's a head wrap. Basically, what we call a head wrap is a Tet Mawe. But in St. Lucia, we have the Tet Casse. I don't know what's the difference between a Tet Casse and a Tet Mawe, which is a part of our national costume, and it's more stiff and it's like a hat. It's kind of like a fascinator type of thing, I would say. I
Mhm.
would equate it with like a fascinator because it kind of sits on top of your head.
Right.
So now I say that to say that my grandmother, Mariage, always used to have these two little buns like what they wear when they're wearing this fascinator type thing because it was a French thing. And
Mhm.
also she used to tie her hair like a little French lady and with her madras and stuff when she'd go. So when I was making the wrap, obviously, it's reminiscent of my grandmother.
Yeah.
Before this, because I also make cakes for Christmas. Or gee, I shouldn't say that because I owe you a cake.
Yes, you do.
I also make cakes for Christmas, and that
Okay,
one
that's never been. You named after her too?
I named after my maternal grandmother, who's Lucia.
Okay. Okay.
So my cake business is called Mama Lucia's. So that's my grandmother who used to sew. She was a seamstress. She
Okay.
used to bake. So it's like I grew up around these women who used to do so many things. My grandmother Mariage was the first person I knew who had a Chinese restaurant in St. Lucia. She had this couple from China and they opened a restaurant in town. It was somewhere on Brazil Street. And I don't know, maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember, that was the first Chinese restaurant in
Right.
town.
We'll
And my grandmother was my grandmother was the boss. This little lady, and I remember like the Chinese gentleman, to me, he was tall, right? And I remember her talking to him and looking up at him and with her little feisty self. So my both of my grandmothers were very enterprising women and they had their stuff together. So when I'm doing these things, it's like naturally it's reminiscent of them and I want to honor their legacy. I want to honor that those memories and that I think that's something that's important to me because it's a part of who I am and it's a part of who made me the way I am and
Yeah.
who gave me these talents and these inclinations to
Yeah.
do all of these things.
So
So that's the story about the mariage.
when we buy from you, you're buying home. You're buying
Yes.
legacy, you're buying nostalgia, we're buying your love and the warm, gooey feelings. I can't say anything about the cooking. I do know she's a fantastic cook. I see the pictures and I see other people talk about it. Christmas is coming soon, so maybe we'll talk
I'll
about
send
that.
you a cake, okay?
um, but it just feels like home, and I think part of why you're so appealing and your product is so appealing is because when you buy department store, you're buying a duplication of hundreds and hundreds. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you go somewhere and you see someone with the same shirt you have on, and you kind of know where they buy it from. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're so you're so unique, as with the other people that I will be featuring, that when we buy from Adhara, we're getting Adhara's personal touch on each of them. And
All
it's
my
made
love.
with love. Exactly. It's made with love and you're getting a piece of her heart and her passion. So I'm going to encourage all of you to hit up the website. You're going to see it right here at the bottom, and purchase the mask. Take a look at everything else. Get one of the head wraps.
The
And
Tet Mawe.
so, do you have tutorials on there of how to wrap it?
Not as yet, but that's something
It's
that
something
I
to
have
think
been thinking
about.
of.
Yeah, because for someone who may not be used to it and they love it,
Mm-hmm.
they love to see how it looks. It can look complicated when you look at the wrap. So
Yeah.
Maybe
And
something that
especially with
yeah,
these, I wanted to do the tutorial to show them how to make it into a top also so that it
yeah,
can be secure. Because
yeah.
I kind of had to figure out, different ways of tying it and stuff.
Okay.
So, yes, that's
Awesome. I
something
look
that I
forward
need to
to it.
do. But I need
So,
models.
well, put, hey, send a give your email. Go ahead and give your email. You
Oh
know,
no, that was for you. I was fishing for you to say you
I'll
model.
model it.
No.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Go ahead, send it over. So, would you come back? Would you come back so we can talk more about new products once you get them and launch them?
Yes,
All right.
definitely. The
Awesome.
last thing was the earrings, though, the earrings that I
Oh,
just
okay.
launched. So I have one. These, oh la la. These are the
Right.
Kalinago collection, which is, oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, I said that's the first.
So
Ooh la la.
these are the Kalinago collection, which is the proper term for our ancestors who were the indigenous people of the islands.
Yeah.
And this one is
Bring it up
a
a little
bunch of
more.
semi-precious stones, and it has a little feather.
So bring it up more, and there you go. There you go.
See,
Nice.
so it has a little feather charm, and this is sterling silver findings and semi-precious stones.
Okay.
So, as with everything else, I try to give people quality because not only do people have allergies, but I want for your jewelry to last.
Right.
I want for you to have this, and I also box them nicely. So the
Okay.
box has cushion in the top and at the bottom, and then I box them up, wrap them up, give you a nice little gift tag. So when you buy it, you feel like even though you're not like buying it for someone else, you're getting it for yourself. You feel like you're gifting yourself. You open it
Right.
and you have this beautiful gift. So
Awesome.
these are like some of the things that I have, and I just want people to feel the way that I feel when I make it. Because honestly, Toya, it is so therapeutic. It is so beautiful. When I sit and I decide I'm going to sew, I'm going to make something, I just feel like I really enjoy doing this, you know?
You know,
So I
even
want for that.
even with
Mhm.
food, there's that saying that sometimes you can taste different foods and you know what food is made with love.
Mhm.
Tell. So with I think that's what you're trying to say, that you hope
Yeah.
we get when we get
So I
that.
hope that feeling translates so that you feel
Yeah,
how much I enjoyed making the product that you're wearing, and that you'll
yeah,
do me justice in wearing it proudly, and just exuding that joy that I feel when I create.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. Well, this was good. This was good. This was exciting. This was therapeutic. You made me think of my grandma. Um,
Oh,
which is a good
don't
thing.
you just
I think that's
love
what you're supposed to
grandmas?
feel. I mean, my cooking, folk like my cooking, but I sometimes still call her because she's home. I'll call her and ask
Mm-hmm.
her certain ways and techniques and of how to cook. And it's such a gift to have that legacy. It's such a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I call her, she's so happy to share, and a lot of times she'll say, what do you mean measurements? Because we don't,
Exactly.
she goes a handful of this and a handful of that, and she say, I think it may be about 2 cups or a pound, but because they
Mm-hmm.
do it with love and they're so used to just cooking, it just becomes second nature. So they measure with their eyes,
I
and
do that
just
too.
so that's what I do when I cook. I
Yep.
use my senses. I use my sight. I use my touch to know when things are supposed to feel the way it's supposed to feel. So it's a gift
And
that
I read a meme. I read a meme recently that said, "We season it until our ancestors say to stop."
there you go. There you go.
Yep.
And whether this isn't salt, but you season this with love and your
Thank
grandma.
you.
And I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm happy to call you sister, honestly, whether you had this or
Thank
not.
you. Same here. Same here.
And I look forward to spending time with you and for you to come back again. All right. So can you give
Sure.
the website one more time for everybody?
So right now it's AKingBee.etsy.com. So that's AKING.BEE.etsy.com.
Okay.
So
Go on
that's my
there.
website right now.
Go on there, browse around, shop around, get your stuff. Trust me, it will be worth it. And Adhara, I love you. Thank
I
you.
love you too, honey.
Come back again.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Life Talks. I hope that you were inspired and that you have felt a rejuvenation in your life. And I hope that what you are saying right now is that the answer that you are given to what life has thrown at you is that I am still here. Email us with your Life Talk ideas at mylifetalkstv@gmail.com. See you next time.